there. Welcome friends. Welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today? Having a good day? Oh, you know what? I love going through your mail, and I was going through some this week, and this lady said, I'm always interested to see which teacup you use. So this one, it looks like solid gold. I don't think it is, but anyway, I think I got that somewhere in Georgia. I was speaking for a group of ladies, and you always remember who gave you a teacup, you know that? Anyway, welcome. We're glad you're here. Welcome. If you're brand new, you've never seen the show, I hope you'll just become one of us. And of course, to you thousands and thousands who are regular viewers, we appreciate you more than I have words to express. My guest today is Ike Ikokwu, and he has written the book Winning the Money Game. And we've offered a lot of books on this show about money, all of them excellent. I could certainly endorse. This one's different than any that we've offered before, and it's got a lot more detail. And so the fact that Jesus spoke so much about money, he knew it would be important to us. And not only did he talk about it, but all through the Bible it tells you how to handle it. And my new best friend here, Ike, has really broken this down into a way that you can understand it. And I'm going to offer this book. I'll put this up on the screen in a second, but I'm going to join Stephanie. We're making a 3-bean chili that's, looks so good. But the information's on your screen. If you want this book, make note of it. After you hear Ike, then you can make your decision. If you use a credit card, call 1-800-229-0059, and it's $20 plus the shipping. And I'm telling you, it's got the detail in it that could serve you well. And after you meet him, I think you'll know what I'm saying. Hello. Hello there, Steph.
Hello, how are you?
You are making a smell here.
Yeah, I want to read that book.
Oh.
For sure.
This is the girl that's, you know that show that I did with you? Got a really good response.
I finally got to see it the other day.
Oh, did you?
So, yeah.
Well, I wonder if it has increased your fan club. Last time we were about to 24 or something like that.
Yeah, let's see.
You think you got any more?
We'll see.
This is my favorite thing here in this kitchen.
I think it's all our favorite.
We did the, I'll go ahead and do all this. We did the onions with it, and it sure saves the tears. And
the smelly hands.
Yeah, and if they get a close-up on that, look how tiny it makes them. It would be hard to chop them that small.
Much, yes.
Yeah. I believe our good friend Mr. Keith sent this to us. But this is a time saver.
Yeah.
And you can get rid of all your frustrations. Slash. It's got all these little blades in it. Okay, that looks pretty good.
So we have a large onion in here, just one large onion in here chopped.
And a little bit of oil.
Pepper. A little bit of oil.
And here comes one, look how nice that's chopped. I don't know what you call this, but every kitchen should have one. And you're just going to saute that a little bit?
Yeah. This is a great winter recipe. Chili's great in the winter.
Well, I always like to say, as we make the program, because it's possible you will see it another time of the year, and I don't apologize for that. I'm always seeing Christmas programs in June. You know, some of the reruns. But this would be great for Super Bowl, wouldn't it?
Perfect. Yes.
Yep. And in the interest of time, you might want to do that a little bit longer.
Yeah, you want to saute this just a little bit longer, but we'll go ahead and start putting stuff in.
Okay, this is a big can. It's at 28 ounces probably. Crushed tomatoes. My mother, she always just get every little drop out.
Of there.
All right.
And this is the unusual item, enchilada sauce. I've never put enchilada sauce in my chili before.
Yeah, that's why they call it the 3-bean enchilada chili. Also, Stephanie educates me kind of on foods, because I said, what's the difference in this and salsa? And you said there's a big difference, and there is.
Oh yeah, that's just a sauce. I mean, salsa is, you know, the tomatoes, the onions, the peppers.
And it's chunky. This is a 15-ounce can of black beans. drained. That's why we've got them. Dark red kidney beans. I love beans. Do you? And pinto. There we go.
There we go.
And that needs to hang out a little bit. Do you want to sing a song or something while we heat it up? Because it just has to taste wonderful.
Oh,
some oregano. Uh-oh. How much?
A teaspoon.
Now we're going to be talking about money today. What could be a better meal, more nutritious, and more economical than this?
For sure. I mean, if you have a couple meatless meals a week, that will save you a ton of money.
And even if you threw a little, ground meat in it, it's still better than going through McDonald's. And my guest today talks about how much money you save when you just don't eat out all the time.
You can throw this in your crock pot in the morning. It'll be done when you get home from work. You can make a double batch. You can freeze half of it, and then you have it for another time.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do if you plan ahead.
I think not eating out was one of our biggest money savers.
Yeah, because this gal, according to my guest today, you are debt-free. All you have is a mortgage, so.
Well, I have one car that we're paying off this year.
Naughty.
That's my goal.
Naughty.
Hey.
Okay, I thought
That's
you got.
my goal this year.
I wonder how many Americans wish they could say that.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago, I couldn't.
I know this isn't really cooked through, but we got to taste it.
Yes, go ahead.
Just a little taste. And then you put a little bit of cheese on it, and here's your tortillas. I think this is one, I really believe this is one I would fix at home and freeze.
Wow. That enchilada sauce really adds some good flavor.
For some people, that might not be hot enough. That's perfect for me. That's my chili.
You could always add a little chili powder or cayenne powder. Cayenne pepper if you wanted it a little spicier.
That's perfect. And then if you want to heat it up, you can, All right, this is a winner. I'm proud of this one.
This is a good one.
Very good. Okay, the information's coming up on your screen. And if you would like this recipe, we'll get it out to you. And now I'm anxious for you to meet my new friend, Ike. He was born in Nigeria. You're going to love him. I already do, okay? Why don't we...
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
Okay, want to welcome Ike Ikokwu to the program. Interesting life, very interesting. Born in Nigeria, son of an attorney and an accountant. Came to the United States. And you've done paper routes, and you've worked in restaurants, and I think a lot of people would hear your dad's an attorney, your mom's an accountant, that you had a silver spoon in your mouth, but obviously not.
Not even close.
And you attend Jensen Franklin's church in Atlanta, and I think our viewers are very much acquainted with him. I know I am, and love him dearly, really.
Jensen's a great man.
How old were you when you left Nigeria?
I was a teenager. I was about 14 years old when I first left the country.
And you spent some time in England?
I did. We were colonized by the British, so our big summer vacations were spending 2 or 3 months in England. So that was a nice little treat for the kids after working hard at school all year.
What's happening in Nigeria now?
Well, the country is about 12 years into a democratic system, I think, maybe a little longer than that. We have long had military dictatorship rule, and certain habits are hard to die, and so the country is continually in transition, would be the best way to put it.
Do you ever go back?
I do. I was actually back a little over a year ago, Christmas last 2011. I was there. And I've probably been there maybe 4 or 5 times total since I first left in 1988.
I thought a story was interesting about your Christmas gifts when you were little. You tell them. You can do it better than I can. But It seemed like your destiny was kind of set then.
It was set at a very early age, that's for sure. We have a tradition in our country where during the Christmas holidays we would go back to what we call the village, which is where our grandparents would live, and it's very rural. And cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody would congregate. We'd get to eat, spend time, fellowship. And on a certain night during those weeks, we would all gather around in a very huge living area. And all the kids would get to parade their report cards for the year and tell how well they did in school. And typically, we would get rewarded with either money or gifts. And a lot of my siblings and cousins, depending on their ages, they take their gifts and they'd go buy toys or cars or whatever it was. I actually took my dad's old briefcase and converted that into a bank. So at about 7, 8 years old, I was tucking my money away in my own little makeshift bank. So
I think that is hilarious. I can't picture a 7-year-old boy doing that.
Like you said, my destiny was set very early on in life.
Now, when you came to the United States, what was the reason for coming?
You know, it's interesting. My dad and my mom both got their formal education in England. And they came back to Nigeria, got settled, and they always had it in the cards to send us off to Europe or to the United States for formal education. And even though my dad still has his law practice till today, he's always dibbled and dabbled in business. And back in the mid-'80s, he had a partnership with some fellows out in Columbus, Georgia, where they were doing some import-export. And he said, you know what, this would be a really good time. So he shipped my mom, my brother, my sister, and myself off here under the auspices of keeping an eye on the business, but also going to school at the same time. So that's how I ended up in the States.
Sounds like he was a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, certainly a visionary.
So you grew up kind of like I did with all kinds of jobs and all. At what point did you really know you're going to do this and you've got more degrees than the thermometer?
I'd probably say it's probably at the time that my wife started calling me schoolboy. I got married to my lovely wife, Emma, in 1997, right after I graduated in 96. And the running joke is for the first 5 or 6 years of our marriage, I was probably more married to the library than I was to her. So graduated with my accounting degree, immediately got the experience and sat for the CPA exam, passed that, enrolled to get my master's in personal financial planning. As soon as I was done with that, I said, well, now it's time to sit for the CFP exam. Sat for that.
Now, what is that? CFP?
That's the Certified Financial Planner. That's another designation for professionals in the field.
You talk about building wealth.
Yes.
I'm not sure I know how to do that as you would, with your background, but I had a relative who got a pretty good insurance policy. Mm-hmm. And I remember writing to her, I said, think about building wealth with it. Because I remembered a story that Lady Bird Johnson got a $30,000 inheritance, which certainly isn't big now.
Sure.
And it wasn't all that big then. And she turned that into a multi-million-dollar, I think through, she bought a radio station or something like that. And I thought of the whole importance of what you get something, think of building wealth instead of I can buy this, I can buy this, I can buy this. And your book addresses that. So how did you're going through this, you go to school and all, and you have all this knowledge. You did experience a bankruptcy.
I did. I was one of those kids who was sort of always ahead of his time. So very early on, even in my career as I was working, the first couple of years as a CPA, I actually kept a second job waiting tables at a restaurant. Because back then, I had defined being debt-free as not having any debt. And so I wanted to pay off the mortgage on the house that we had. But I was always into something. So I had real estate investments I'd gotten into. I bought and sold property. I learned about some pretty lucrative international investments that were paying some pretty phenomenal sums of money, and got into those, was investing in the stock market. So I was literally appropriating a lot of the same things I'd either learned in school or that I saw us doing on behalf of our clients through the various jobs that I held.
You said that pride and a few other things kind of precipitated the
downfall.
The bankruptcy, yeah.
Correct.
And did the economy play into it? What years were those?
The economy played a significant role, but I think pride was probably the bigger of the two. Because I can tell you, Arthelene, I remember at some of the churches we used to attend, we'd have prophets come through the church, and they'd give a word of prophecy, and several times they would speak things over me that had to do with money or finances. And because in the world system I was already in there and doing some of those things, it got to a point where I'd almost go, do you have anything else to share about my future? You know, so pride certainly.
Okay, here's a bankruptcy.
Yeah, here's a bankruptcy. Let's kind of retool things a little bit. But what happened through the bankruptcy was my head got really big. You know, 20-some-year-old kid and making more money than he could probably count. And God said, your priorities had shifted. And it was time now for me to kind of humble you and teach you some things that you need to know so that the next time around when I do bless you, not only will you be able to keep it, but you'll be able to share it with the world and empower others to really acquire the wealth that he desires for us.
You know, I think anybody who really sets out to walk with the Lord, they're going to hit a wall.
Yes.
And then what do you do from there?
Nice.
Do you get mad at God, or do you say, I'm with you? So if you just tuned in, I'm talking to Ike Ikokwu, and this is his book, Winning the Money Game. We're offering this book. I hope you've got your pencil handy. And we'll send it to you for that gift of at least $20, you know, plus the shipping. And as I said at the top of the program, this is far more in detail book than anything that we've offered before. But it doesn't stray anywhere from those principles of Scripture that you've seen in other books. So that's 1-800-229-0059, or the address, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And if you want to order this book, you can do so. Hope you got the information, because now I'd like to put up the website for my guest, and we'll leave it up for the rest of the program, because you can't make it without websites nowadays, can you, at all?
I know.
Okay, you achieved a lot of financial success, but then how did you rebuild after the bankruptcy? That has to be, I've had somebody close to me go through bankruptcy, and it is humiliating. It's just anything negative, you know, that touches it affects it.
Absolutely. It's a very humbling experience. My wife and I share a joke where things were so bad at one point that I think for Christmas she made a card with just a piece of paper and stuck some gum in there and wrote some stuff in it. It's like, here.
Sticking gum.
But,
how did it affect your family and all, your marriage?
Well, it actually brought us close together.
Good.
It certainly solidified our relationship, and that's typically what adversity does. You know, adversity will either break you or it'll make you so much stronger and better off. And so that's what it did. It really strengthened the core of our relationship.
Okay, and then what steps did you take to crawl out of it? Because if I remember right, you became kind of debt-free at the age of 34. This is after the bankruptcy.
This is after about 5 years after the bankruptcy. I achieved what I would call financial independence.
Did you have a build upon build, block upon block type
block
of
upon
plan?
block, absolutely. And so for several years, because credit, the abuse of credit and misuse of credit can significantly impact your financial potential, we would not use credit cards. So we, for many years, would pay for everything with cash, specifically using our check card so we could track everything. But I was fortunate enough to open up my business and do some consulting and put myself in a position where I was making a good bit of money. And you know, I probably saved 70–80% of our income for several years. And that helped accumulate a significant sum over the course of time.
Did you work as a financial planner coming out, and you gradually got out of that? Now we're in a national financial crisis. You know what, Ike? If I managed my money like Congress, I would be living under a bridge right now.
Sure.
I wouldn't have a house, I wouldn't have a car. And you used the term financial insanity. That's good.
Yes, kind of hits the nail on the head, doesn't it?
Yeah, so how does just a normal person with a normal job navigate through this financial insanity?
Well, it all starts with a budget, right? You can't come up with a solution until you know what the problem is. So budget seems to have gone out of flavor for a lot of people, but I tell you, it's the only way. If you don't direct your money where it should go, it'll go everywhere else other than where you want it to go. So people have to start with a budget, and I've got, you know, what I call my 3 R's for kind of coming up with a very simple budget. And the first step is to kind of make sure it's a real budget. And so a real budget implies that you're using your actual numbers. So you just can't take a stab as to how much you think you spend on groceries every month or on gas for the vehicle. You actually have to track it for 30 days, preferably 60, but at least 30 days to see where the money's going. Once you've identified where it's going, then you have to set some realistic targets for what you want to reduce and what you can reduce. So for instance, you've got a family of 4 that spends $1,600 a month in groceries. It's going to be pretty difficult to go from $1,600 a month in groceries down to $200. So maybe trying to drop that down to 14 to 12, etc. That's a realistic goal to set. And then the next thing to do is you've got to build in rewards into that whole budgetary process.
So you don't get discouraged?
You don't get discouraged. You can stay motivated till the end there. But you start with the budget. You try to identify what you've got coming in, what you've got going out, how much excess that you have. And now you have to figure out what's the best vehicle for you to use to make that money not just sit in a savings account and lose value, but actually grow and accumulate over the course of time.
Yeah, you know, Stephanie, whom you met earlier, has been kind of an example of this, and they had debt, credit cards, and said they sat down, she and her husband, and did the numbers, said they made enough money.
Oh, yeah.
There was enough money there. A lot of people think they don't make enough to handle their lives.
There's a ton there. It's where it's going is the issue. And when you make payments with cash, you don't track your expenditures, you use credit. Credit is such a necessary evil, but it gives a false sense of wealth. You know, studies have shown that when you make a payment on credit versus actually paying cash, there's a big difference. Because if you had to pay $250 for something and physically stand there and count each $10 or $20 bill, you start adding it up in your mind and you go, wow, that's a pretty, maybe I don't need that purchase. But if all you have to do is swipe a card and not even think about it.
Oh yeah, nowadays that's all you do.
Yeah.
A lot of you don't have to sign or anything. Now, you also stress the importance of husband and wife being together on this. Because sometimes you have a guy who likes to buy toys, and you have a wife that likes shoes.
Sure.
And I think that could be a huge hurdle in a marriage if you don't come together.
Yeah, we have tons of examples from the Bible that speaks to the power of unity, whether it's the people who tried to build the Tower of Babel, but I think it's in Ecclesiastes where it says that, one person can easily be overpowered. 2 people can put up a good defense, but then a 3-cord strand is not easily broken. So that speaks to the power of being unified, being on the same team. And the benefits of husband and wife really working together is they can both come to a consensus as to what the problem is and what the potential solutions are. So you get buy-in from both parties.
It's kind of where you need 2 grown-ups.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
Got a lot of married kids. You say there's 2 sides to the financial planning industry. What are those?
Well, there's what I would call the safe money side of the financial planning industry, and then there's what I would call the market-sensitive side. And both industries kind of collide. They're kind of competing with each other. And they both have a message to the end user consumer. So on the safe money side of the fence, their message is, we have financial tools in place that can help you protect your investments. You'll never lose a penny. Now, the return that you might make may be somewhat skimpy, may not be market
Would that
returns.
like be a CD?
CD, money market, savings, even certain insurance instruments might fit into that category. On the market side of the fence, they go, well, look at the last 100 years. See what inflation has done. Stocks have proven to be the place to be to get returns above and beyond inflation. The problem is all the risk that's associated.
Right.
And so everybody's trying to make their solution seem like the preferred solution, and the consumer is left in the middle there trying to figure out, do I go left or do I go right?
Should they do both?
They absolutely need to do both. And that's sort of a revelation and an epiphany that I came to is, if God has created everything on earth, then there is nothing that is inherently bad. Every financial instrument has a financial design and a purpose. And as the consumer, you have to make sure you understand its design and that you're using that instrument for your intended purposes and not necessarily that of a financial firm or the advisor that might be recommending them to you.
I didn't see this in the book, but do you have kind of a litmus test before you buy a stock? Do you buy single stocks? Or?
We actually, we use investment managers that will build an entire portfolio for you. And so we go through a bunch of information to help identify what people's risk tolerance are and what would make sense to include in that portfolio. We don't necessarily subscribe to stock picking, trying to identify the next Google necessarily, because it's not as easy as many people would think.
Yep. Okay, you have a term. What's a financial bucket?
A financial bucket, really, it's sort of a picture that I like to use to describe what's happening within your financial household, okay? And so for most everybody, they have money that's coming into this bucket. And as money comes into that bucket, if they're doing a good job of saving some of that, it's going to go into the accumulated cash. It's going to go into accumulated bucket. There's a portion of that that's going to go towards a lifestyle to basically pay for the house, pay for the cars, have money to go out when you eat.
And that can vary.
And that can vary for everybody. The third component that a lot of people are oblivious to is what I call really transferred money. And these are areas where most people are wasting away, losing money, unknowingly and unnecessarily. So it's not necessarily their fault, they're just not aware of what they're doing.
Yep. Well, it's so complex today that you need some help. I want to tell you again, we're offering this book. The information is coming up on your screen, and you can, if you use a credit card, 1-800-229-0059, and or you could write to me. It's the $20 plus the shipping and handling. And I've said so many times that Homekeepers is a program where we deal with anything and everything that affects the home. And you know what? That's anything and everything. That's just the center. And I'm telling you, money would be really high on that list. Hopefully your relationship with the Lord is number one, your relationship with each other, good parenting and all, but boy, providing for that family and managing the money. The Bible is full of it, and that's why I bring it to you. And that's why I'm delighted to bring Ike to you. As I mentioned earlier, his book goes into a little bit more detail than some of the other things we've done. So we're out of time, but would you hang around a little bit? I want to talk to you a little bit more, okay?
Absolutely.
We're out of time right now, but please remember, friends, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you would like a video copy of today's Homekeepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.